Hola, mi gente, how are you? I hope you're very well. And this is, remember, Princess Carlina, the warrior writer. And today I bring you this session of 5 minutes of magic from my beautiful local coffee shop here in West Norwood called Theo Club Coffee Shop. And it's really cute. And if you're around the area, please pop by. Anyway, today I bring you this book, which is called 50 Words for Snow by poet and nonfiction writer Nancy Campbell. And the beauty about this one is that she explores the word snow in 50 different languages and cultures and tells us a little bit about it. So, without further ado, why don't we start? Oh, it's hard with a sling. Let's go. In Lithuanian, sniegas. Although snow does not usually fall until January now, Lithuania once lay under deep drifts from November to March. Snow cover was vital in protecting cereal crops such as winter rye from night frosts. If there was no snow, the crops would freeze. Hence the saying Naudos kaip is Peringsnio snigo, which means as much use as last year's snow, i.e., once snow has melted, it is of no use to anyone. The weather of this Baltic state has played a significant part in European history, proving useful to some armies and ruinous to others. Like always, right? During the Crusades, the great marshes and wide lakes became frozen battlegrounds, on which knights in their heavy armor were in as much danger from thin ice as from enemy weapons. And several centuries later, the capital, Vilnius, saw the bitter denouement of Napoleon Bonaparte's Russian campaign. The French emperor had entered Moscow in September 1812, believing himself a conqueror, even though his grand army, which originally comprised more than 1,000,000 men, had been decimated by starvation and bloodshed on the long march across Europe. He found the great city almost deserted. The day after Napoleon's arrival, fires were started and many buildings, including those earmarked for his troops' winter quarters, were burned to the ground. Nevertheless, he stayed in Moscow waiting for Emperor Alexander I, who was in St. Petersburg, to make him an offer of peace, which, of course, never came. Sounds familiar? Anyway, late in the year, he realized it was impossible to remain longer in the ashes of the ruined city, and ordered his army back on the road to farms. On this retreat through November snow, the exhausted and poorly clad troops were attacked by Cossacks. Their horses ran out of fodder and struggled to walk on the icy roads, since the army lacked the equipment to forge shoes for them. The Marquis de Caulaincourt, who accompanied Napoleon as Grand Ecuyer or Master of the Horse, had advised against the campaign. He recorded his horror on seeing men fall by the road, unable to rise again. And so he said, "Once these poor wretches fell asleep, they were dead. If they resisted the craving for sleep, another passer-by would help them along a little further, thus prolonging their agony for a short while, but not saving them, for in this condition the drowsiness engendered by cold is irresistibly strong." I tried in vain to save a number of these unfortunates. The only words they uttered were to beg me to go away, to let them sleep. After a journey of almost 2 months, as few as 50,000 stunned survivors of the Grand Army struggled across the icy Berezina River, using improvised bridges, and dragged themselves in freezing winds towards Vilnius. The officer, Francois de Monsieur, described the scene outside Vilnius city gate, a veritable moving mountain, more than 2 meters deep, of dead and dying, pushing, shoving, hemmed in on all sides, at each step risking being thrown down by the convulsive spasms of those we were trampling underfoot. As many as half of the starving survivors who managed to reach Vilnius died. Some succumbed to exhaustion or cold on arrival. Others may have overeaten in their desperation to assuage their ravenous hunger, or drunk themselves into oblivion, as you do. Some soldiers had frostbitten noses, toes, or fingers which turned gangrenous. The wounded soon spread sickness to the townspeople. And so it happens, as the lodging houses were full, the unluckiest froze to death in the snowy streets. More than 40,000 men lost their lives during the winter invasion. The campaign was a turning point in the Napoleonic Wars and a significant blow to Napoleon's ambitions of European dominance. Within 16 months, the emperor was exiled in the balmier climate of the island of Elba. And there you go. If you didn't know that, that's a little bit of history for you about Napoleon, and I hope you find it useful. I hope you enjoy it. If you like, please go have a look. It's called 50 Words of Snow, and please come and follow me into my Twitter, Instagram. It's at Carolina Veras, my website carolinaveras.com. If you want to see more of this content, please press follow, and I'll see you next time.